calendar reads like a countdown, as Barcelona's carefully plotted homecoming has warped into a scramble. What was meant to be a triumphant return to a rebuilt Spotify Camp Nou now feels like a race against signatures and permits. And those missing stamps have the power to rewrite the club's season before a ball is kicked. Reports have surfaced that the club has even opened talks about staging the Valencia fixture at Girona's Estadi Montilivi. A jolt that would have once sounded unthinkable, as the full reopening of Camp Nou hangs on the City Council's first occupancy permit and a final certificate of works, that for now remain unsigned. The image is stark: scaffolding and new seats, but no green light. Fans who bought plans and seats held in anxious suspense. Fixtures that used to be routine now teeter between normality and improvisation. The alternatives being floated read like a logistics puzzle with missing pieces. Montilivi is named in several reports as an option, yet Girona's officials have publicly denied any contact, creating an awkward public dance where rumour and reality collide and time slips away. Meanwhile, the option that once felt like a safety valve, the Montjuic Olympic Stadium, is already compromised by a major concert the week before the Valencia match, meaning its pitch won't be ready and it cannot be relied upon to rescue Barcelona's home plans. The club's own Johan Cruyff Stadium sits nearby as a fallback, but with barely 6,000 seats, it cannot replace the revenue or the matchday atmosphere that Camp Nou brings, turning the emergency choice into a bitter arithmetic of money versus necessity. That arithmetic is raw. Fewer fans equals smaller gate receipts, fewer corporate packages, and a thinning of matchday energy that the players and club leadership were banking on to reset finances after years of investment. There is also the shadow of deadlines beyond local paperwork. UEFA and La Liga calendars require clarity on venues, and late decisions could cascade into administrative consequences, with competition registrations and broadcast arrangements. For supporters, the pain is palpable. Season ticket holders imagining empty stands, families recalculating travel plans, and local businesses bracing for lost income. While inside the club corridors, executives are reportedly juggling contractors, city planners, and legal teams to try and stitch together a plan that keeps the team playing at home. Somewhere, somehow, one scenario being considered is the Camp Nou itself hosting games behind closed doors, if the paperwork allows the stadium to open for matches but not to admit supporters. The game would go ahead, but the terraces would be silent. A surreal sight for a club that trades so much on its stadium roar. Another scenario is a hurried negotiation with regional neighbours, but the Montilivi talk underscores a thorny geopolitical wrinkle. Playing at a nearby club's ground is not merely a logistics swap. It is a symbolic concession that could sting fans and widen tensions across Catalonia's football map. And then there are the smaller, practical frustrations that add up. Ticket refunds, communications to thousands of fans, the scramble to ensure stewarding and safety at an unfamiliar venue, and the countless micro-decisions that can make a last-minute switch feel like pulling teeth. Yet, through the uncertainty, there are teams working feverishly, operations staff checking ink signatures, construction crews preparing quick fixes, legal advisors drafting contingency clauses, and club executives modelling financial scenarios with grim calculators. The truth is blunt. Without that occupancy permit and the final certificate of works, the club is hamstrung. And while optimism persists that the paperwork will arrive in time, the mounting alternative plans tell a different story, one of improvisation and unfinished business. For now, supporters can only watch the clock, read the thin public statements, and imagine the outcomes. A scenic return to a roaring Camp Nou if the permits arrive. A quiet, ghost-like match behind closed doors if they do not, or the odd spectacle of Barcelona pitching up at a rival's field. A temporary home with borrowed colours and unfamiliar sightlines. Any of those outcomes would shape the mood of the season's opening weeks, financially, emotionally, and competitively, and force a club used to shaping narratives to respond instead to the blunt force of municipal approvals and concert bookings. The scene is set for a dramatic few days. Signatures on paper, decisions by committees, and the very real possibility that the first La Liga home game will become a test not only of logistics, but of how a global club manages a local crisis that could ripple far beyond one fixture.